A new 15% tariff has been issued under Section 122 of the Trade Act of 1974, and while most headlines focus on higher import costs, the real story is hidden in the exemptions, because what's not taxed could determine whether housing prices rise, construction slows, or supply chains stay intact. If you're buying, selling, investing, or building, this matters. Let's break it down fast. The administration issued a 15% tariff under Section 122 of the Trade Act of 1974, a tool used during trade imbalances. But unlike broad tariff waves in the past, this one comes with strategic carve-outs designed to protect supply chains, trade agreements, essential industries, and that's where things get interesting. First major exemption category, regional trade agreements. Under the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, compliant goods from Canada and Mexico are exempt. That's huge, because Canada supplies lumber, Mexico supplies construction components. Both are critical to home building. Also protected, CAFTA DR nations, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua, especially for textiles and apparel. For housing markets, this reduces immediate shock to certain construction inputs, but that's just the beginning. The administration carved out products that cannot be produced domestically in sufficient quantities. That includes automotive, passenger vehicles, light trucks, buses, and most auto parts are exempt from this 15% surcharge, although other duties may still apply. Why does that matter for real estate? Because auto pricing impacts consumer debt ratios, which impacts mortgage approvals. Next, aerospace, civil aircraft, engines, components, exempt, electronics and semiconductors. Certain consumer electronics are exempt. That protects tech supply chains and major tech-driven housing markets. Active pharmaceutical ingredients are exempt. That stabilizes healthcare supply, and healthcare employment hubs are massive drivers of local housing demand. Specific agricultural items are exempt: beef, tomatoes, oranges, coffee, bananas, cocoa, spices, energy products, oil, coal, energy-related imports, and critical minerals like lithium, cobalt, and graphite, essential for batteries and manufacturing. Fertilizers not sufficiently available in the US are also exempt. Why should a homeowner care? Because energy costs influence construction expenses, transportation costs, mortgage rate pressure, inflation trends, energy stability, and housing stability. To prevent stacking multiple layers of taxation, goods already under Section 232 or Section 301 duties are generally excluded from this new 15% surcharge. That includes steel, aluminum, copper products, semi-finished lumber. Now this is key for real estate, because steel and lumber costs directly impact new construction, renovations, commercial development. Avoiding stacking keeps builders from getting hit twice, and that stabilizes pricing pressure, at least temporarily. Here's what many people missed: the de minimis exemption, which allowed packages under $800 to enter duty-free, has been suspended. That means low-value imports will no longer automatically bypass tariffs. For small contractors, for flippers ordering materials, for small businesses, costs could rise at the micro level, and small cost increases add up across housing markets. Here's the big picture. This isn't a blanket inflation bomb. It's targeted, strategic, selective. The exemptions are designed to protect core supply chains, construction inputs, energy markets, major trade partners, but the removal of de minimis and potential ripple effects could create localized price pressure, short-term supply shifts, market uncertainty, and uncertainty affects buyer psychology, which affects listing strategy, negotiation leverage, timing decisions. This is why understanding trade policy is now part of understanding real estate. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing, now is the time to understand how macro policy impacts micro markets. Because the people who win in real estate, they move before the crowd. If you want hyper-local insights on how this affects your market specifically, reach out. Let's build your strategy before the next shift.
your ultimate hub for real estate insights, breaking news, entrepreneurial wisdom, investing strategies, and self-development hacks. If you're ready to expand your mind and stay ahead of the game floor, you're in the right place. Subscribe now. Your future self will thank you.